Morning everybody. Just doing my morning walk before work. Got here a bit early today, so I'm going to do hopefully a good distance today. So you see I've got my weighted vest on, obviously for the extra resistance. So I thought this morning I'll just give you a bit of an update on my my kind of fitness goals and how everything's going. So I did my football again last night, man versus fat. Played quite well actually. Didn't score any goals this week, but yeah, I felt I got about a bit. I thought I was involved in the goals in some capacity, whether it was pressing to get winners a free kick or taking away defenders to free up space for the other attackers. So yeah, I felt I had a good game. But anyway, weighed in and I'm like 0.1 kg up from the week before. So pretty much stayed the same, I would say. Which was kind of expected. As I did quite a bit of walking, which I think is what's maintained my weight, but I wouldn't say my diet was particularly good last week actually. I did have a lot of sausage sandwiches for breakfast. I think I had 3 last week in total. So, not the healthiest starts to those days. And we was up north visiting my family, doing a little get together for my girl's first birthdays. So you know it's like when you're kind of travelling and stopping at services. It's not particularly healthy food, is it? It's quite obviously high calorie. And obviously enjoyed myself at the weekend with bit of cake and a few beers. Yeah, you've got to enjoy yourself. So I'm quite happy that I didn't put too much weight on. So, well, none it seems. So hopefully this week get off to a good start. Obviously, I had the football. That's obviously quite good exercise. I'd done a nice weighted vest walk as well yesterday with the pram. Yeah, and hopefully get a good 5k or more depending on the time to this morning. So yeah, so it's not going too bad. So I'm just trying to think of topics, to talk about on these walks. And one of the things I was thinking, I don't know if it would be interesting, but I'll do it anyway. As you've seen, I'm trying a few things out with these videos to see what people actually want to watch and what they don't. But I've not had many views, but as you've probably seen. But to be honest, it's kind of helping my channel's called Ruck and Reflect. I know there's not too much detail on the kind of rucking, but I am doing a lot of reflection. It does help me actually talking out loud on camera. I think it's kind of helping my confidence a bit with articulating myself, hopefully. And hopefully you can see in these videos I'm starting to hopefully come across a lot more confident in my speech. But yeah, so one of the things I'll talk about this morning, which I've been an operational manager probably for around 10 years in both private and public sector in various roles at a fairly manager level, probably the last 5 years. And I've learned a lot in that time, through trial and error, through working with other good leaders, and I've been recently doing a long apprenticeship type course at work on operational leadership, and it's been good. And I went to university, but like many young men, the education side of it wasn't my main focus. So I kind of wanted to try and get some kind of accreditation or qualification. Now I'm a bit more serious about it. So yeah, it's going quite well. But what I'm finding is I really enjoy the reflection side of it, and actually looking at what I've done and applying it to the stuff that they're trying to teach you, which has been really useful. And one of the topics I find quite interesting, and something I think I've developed a bit of knowledge and skills on over the last probably 3-4 years, is around performance management, and around particularly managing poor performance. So for me, there's 2 real types of poor performance. The first is lack of ability, lack of skills, that kind of area. where someone just hasn't got the, you know, the ability or the skills to be able to perform their job effectively. And to address that, obviously you'll look at, you know, training needs. Have they been sufficiently trained? Do they need additional training, additional mentoring and support? And then fundamentally, if things don't improve, you're starting to look at, is it the right kind of role for them? Is it utilising their skills the best? Not to forget, is there any kind of adjustments that they might need to perform their role more effectively? So there's things you can kind of look at in that level of performance. But for me, that's probably going to be the hardest, because that's about really, sometimes people have to be, you know, honest with themselves and get to the stage where they think, actually, yeah, it's not the right role for me. I had it, you know, when I was my first job since kind of leaving uni. I was full of confidence, and I thought, oh, actually, I want to earn some money. So I thought, oh, sales would be a perfect one for me. I'm good with people, so I thought. So I took the first sales job I was offered, which was kind of a business-to-business telesales job. And I was rubbish at it, to be honest. I'm not particularly good at speaking on the phone. Didn't like sitting just with a headset on, just ringing people that, you know, and it was in IT components, which, a bit of a dying trade. You know, a lot of these IT shops that were booming in a certain period were just on the decline. So, you know, and with the rise of stuff like Amazon and websites like that, people were just able to get things direct to consumer cheaper than what we were able to sell it for them. Needless to say, some people were good at it and made good money and good commissions. Yeah, I was just kind of terrible. And in the end, I was pulled in for my poor performance. And I was asked those questions, you know, do you need additional training? You know, what can we do to kind of help you? And I just had to be honest. And I just had to say, to be honest, this isn't the job for me. And I don't think I'm the right person for this role. I just don't think it's something I'm going to succeed at. And, you know, which, yeah, you might look at this and be like, well, you're defeatist there. You know, you should have knuckled down. You should have tried harder. You should have got additional kind of coaching and skills. But I knew one, I was unhappy there. And, yeah, which, again, I'm going to talk about that side of it, but that could have been a reason. But, yeah, so that was one of those moments where I don't think there was any additional training they could have given me. Again, the only thing they could have done to maximise my skills was to move me into a different area and develop me there. But you don't always have that luxury in these companies. So, yeah, and the second main reason for poor performance for me is lack of engagement. And I think this is the one that you can, as a leader, really influence. Because, you know, first of all, just to establish, why is that person not engaged with what's going on? Is it because they've been constantly told that what they're doing isn't good enough and they don't feel any confidence in their ability to do the job? Which could tie into the other reason, but... So it's about finding a way to make those people feel that they're actually a key part of the team. Find something that they are good at, give them some focus on that, help them really start and build a bit of confidence in the areas that they are good, and then hopefully that will lead into being a bit more engaged in the team otherwise. Another element, obviously, of that is somebody might just be like, well, I've done this for a while and I'm just not finding it exciting and I'm looking for a new opportunity. And if that's the case, yeah, then you've kind of got your answer there. You've got a long-term solution. They're going to look for something else. And I think it's up to you as a leader to kind of work with them to kind of find those opportunities, but also to say, look, appreciate that, but at the minute you're obviously employed to do this job, we'll support you and help you find a new role. But what can we do to get you a bit more engaged in this? Is there some more kind of bigger picture stuff they can do? You know, find something to really engage people and make them feel like what they're doing's matter. But I think as a leader, you can implement that from day one. It's not about just letting everybody make decisions on your behalf, but it's about engaging them early on before those decisions are made. Get their inputs, explain why you're doing something, and be honest. It might be that sometimes the ideas you get from team members in that engagement piece just isn't really kind of good enough for what you're trying to achieve. But be honest about that. Explain why it's not going to work and why that's not something you can do. Often if people know the reason why, they can buy into it a bit better. So yes, that's just a little bit, really, obviously just a little touchdown on managing poor performance. Interested to hear anybody else's thoughts on that. Do you agree that they're the two main reasons for that poor performance, or is there other ones that you think I'm not covering? Yeah, if you've got any thoughts, drop them in the comments. Like everything, thanks to the 2 people that are subscribing to me. Thanks to the 3 or 4 that are watching these videos. If you enjoy it, please drop it a like. Helps the engagement on YouTube. And yeah, I'm going to keep making these videos anyway, despite the low views. I'm finding it quite fun, and it's a reason for me to get out and about and do a bit of filming. Right, I will leave you to it. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.